Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Flicks on Goji Center. Today we're gonna see 10 more brutal ways of life ending in How to Train Your Dragons. Let's go. Graphic warning.
In today's Carnage documentary, we'll resume our journey through the dangerous world of How to Train Your Dragon and introduce you to more horribly disgusting ways to leave existence, brought to you by 10 ferocious beasts waiting to destroy these test subjects. This day, there will be no quarter given and no mercy shown, as our dragons brutally execute these folks using their bizarre weaponry, bloodthirsty methodologies, and hellish fire, all analyzed in juicy detail.
Whoa.
So if you want to stay on track and continue watching this series, subscribe, like this video, and make sure you don't eat red pasta, because this episode, ladies and gentlemen, may make you throw up. Coming up, 10 brutal ways to die in How to Train Your Dragon Part 3. Yeah, guys, this is Part 3, so if you haven't seen Part 1 and 2, pause this video and go watch Parts 1 and 2.
Personally, I just recommend seeing Part 2 because you will get 10 unique dragons. Episode 1, it's only 8 ways to die via Toothless. Other than that, no other dragon.
And then come back. Okay. The rest of you can keep watching because our new test subjects have just arrived. Method number 1, Slimy Terror. As we go through this episode, you'll find out that the variety in dragons is insane, and so are the ways you could die. We'll begin with a strange-looking dragon, the Slitherwing. These dragons very much resemble snakes, except they are much bigger, can fly, and as you might expect, a venomous bite. But it does not end here. These guys are literally poison and venom production machines.
Damn.
The difference between these two substances is the following. The adverse effects of poison are administered via breathing, swallowing, or absorption through the skin, whereas venom has to be administered via wound directly to your bloodstream. Venomous snakes usually bite into their victims to administer venom directly to the bloodstream. But here comes the
easiest way to remember is this. If someone bites you and you get sick, that's venom. If you bite something and you get sick, that's poison.
real question. Which one of these does the Slitherwing possess? Both. Apart from being able to both bite with and spit venom, this thing will also secrete poison all over its body. It's said to have a distinct sweet smell, but to not let this gratifying scent fool you. Once it's on your body, you're going to die. Let's find out how. The side effects of having this slime ruin your outfit include pale discoloration, the affected areas turning green, fatigue, increasing pain, etc. Eventually, this poison will make its way through the bloodstream and consequently shutting down your organs. In a matter of 24 hours, you'll be dead.
Oh my
assuming
God.
that the Slitherwing doesn't chew you first. Number 2, Reign of Death. The next test subject to be thrown to the dragon's den is in for a lot of pain. Not only because he's gonna get eaten, but also burned, shanked, slammed, and potentially a ton of other stuff. So what are we talking about? None other than the Deadly Natter. That's right, folks. Apart from being one of the most popular dragons in this franchise, this thing is also one of the most deadly. Hence the name Deadly Natter. This creature is equipped with jaws with dozens of needle-like teeth, but what comes out of these jaws is far more scary. It is said that the magnesium-based fire coming out of these dragons burns as hot as the sun itself.
Magnesium fire? Good God!
So hot that it's able to literally melt rocks.
Whoa.
Getting killed by this would be a mercy, since this would happen so fast you wouldn't even feel it. If the Natter wanted to be less merciful, it would resort to these bad boys back here. Oh yeah, these spikes back here are detachable and can be hurled at once, raining death on any group of victims. A single one of these can be hurled with mad accuracy depending on where exactly the Natter wanted to aim at. But that's not all. These are also venomous, capable of stunning and immobilizing prey.
Dang,
so
really?
as soon as you get hit, if you didn't get hit in a vital organ, you'll be stunned, frozen. Your muscles will contract in such a way that you will not be able to move, only to witness this Natter finish you with its tooth-infested jaws. Number 3, blown up.
My God.
Some of these dragons don't always have to go on the offensive to kill anyone. Sometimes triggering their defense mechanisms are enough to erase your sorry ass from planet Earth. A perfect example of this is this dragon, the Buffalord. A medium-sized creature that can actually grow dramatically in size under certain circumstances. Before this happens, note how this thing is covered in lots of spikes, is covered in hard skin, and seems like the type of dragon that can expel large quantities of gas, in the form of fire. This is a most...
It looks like it should be able to breathe a lot of fire, but I don't honestly remember it using a lot of fire.
peaceful animal, but to provoke it, we'll task this test subject.
It's literally just like a buffalo. Just leave it alone, and it ain't gonna harm you. You mess with it, it's gonna mess back.
Who is notorious for his questionable methods of taming dragons to try to harass it. And, yeah, as we can see, this thing turned out to be very similar to the real-world pufferfish. If these guys feel like they are being harassed or threatened, they will immediately blow up and double their size. Except our buff friend here will take it a step further. After he blows up, the spikes we talked about earlier will shoot out in all directions, potentially hitting our test subject. In addition to that, the impact along with any fire expelled from this creature will create a kill zone that will be impossible to escape from. Stabbed, knocked out, and burned is the way you will leave the planet. For being stupid. Number 4, Feeding Frenzy.
What if you were a global
hold on, we got an ad, folks. We're back.
If you're enjoying this episode, we'll guess you've watched gruesome animal videos featuring stuff like piranhas eating their prey alive. Well, this one is no different. But who will bring forth the act of devouring our test subject? The Hobgobbler. This little fella may seem harmless at first, and maybe a tiny bit adorable, but you'll quickly
To be honest, watching that movie, I was so curious why he was so terrified of that thing, when the one with the giant moose antlers from the previous episode was a lot more terrifying. I mean, look at that thing. It's like the size of an overblown beach ball. But I guess now he's about to explain why we need to fear the Hobgobbler.
Forget that once you see its friends pull up and stare at you with those bright orange eyeballs. There are 2 ways this thing can end you. 1, the saliva from these creatures' mouths is said to be flammable in some cases, meaning that this thing would only have to just slobber on you in order for that body part to catch on fire. Here, our test subject got some on his head, so immediately all his hair would get burnt off and then his face would follow. But this dude isn't dead yet. Method number 2, after some of your body is cooked rare, we'll unleash the rest of these hobgobblers to finish this test subject. And as we can see, similar to those piranha videos, this guy will be eaten alive with nothing left except a skeleton joined by whatever ligaments remain and scraps of flesh.
My God.
This is without a doubt a grim sight. But let's now move to a dragon that can do something more spectacular. Number 5, Fire-nado. We're seeing a lot of fire in this series, but don't worry, this one is gonna be fun to watch. Maybe not for the test subject. Typhoomerangs are very large animals distinctive for their massive wings, eccentric face, and most importantly, crazy fire abilities. Unlike other dragons that will literally just shoot their target directly, this one seems to use a different method. This animal will first fly over the victim and surround it with a stream of fire. But this stream of fire continues to circle around the victim, closing in until the fire finally reaches its body, letting it burn alive. The result? A spectacle of fire, heat, and death. Additionally, the fire streams of this dragon would undergo strange phenomena at times, creating a literal spiral of fire with a hollow core, like a literal tornado, except it's expelled from a vocal orifice. Fire like this would make quick work of a human being, burning him to a crisp in a matter of seconds.
Oh my God.
Number 6, Razor Slice. The dragon we are about to discuss now is a literal killing machine. There is no other way to put it. The Razor Whip's most notable attribute is that it is fully encased in metal-like scales with the sole purpose to serve as armor and to cut almost anything. There are many ways this thing could kill. Its prehensile tail is equipped with sharp spikes similar to the deadly Natter. They aren't venomous, but can certainly split skulls upon impact. This tail can also constrict the life out of its victims. Its long jaws infested with sharp teeth, their metallic nature and weight would make them behave like scissors. But these are nothing compared to their razor-sharp tail and wings, capable of literally flying through tree trunks, ship masts, and other organic objects. We know what you're thinking. What would happen if it flew through a test subject? We'll task the Razor Whip with flying at high speeds and flying through this part of the body. Now this cut would be so perfect and so quick that you would still be alive to look down and realize what just happened to you.
Oh
and
my
watch in
God.
disbelief as your upper torso literally falls off the bottom half of your body. Believe it or not, there have been cases of people surviving getting cut in half, but that's just because they received immediate medical attention. Unfortunately, our facilities here at Goji Center don't have that luxury. We would, but if you click the links below and buy some merch, we could probably afford it. Or do the bare minimum and subscribe. Next dragon. Number 7, human.
I gotta say this just before we move on. Holy hell, there are so many ways to die in this movies and shows. Like, oh my god. If you're not careful, you're dead, like day 1.
And Blender. The dragon that we are about to discuss is no joke. It is a creature that was seen to outclass this Night Fury in combat a couple of times. An animal so agile, dangerous, and scary that it will haunt you in your nightmares. The Whispering Death. This crazy spawn of hell is composed of a long, slender body covered in spikes from head to tail, and a mouth filled with 6 rows of counter-spinning teeth, and the ability to spew rings of fire engulfing its victims and roasting them to death. In this episode, we will cover 2 ways the Whispering Death can kill these victims, beginning with this creature's body. These spikes aren't here just to look pretty, but can also be used to fling spikes at victims. This tail can pick up someone and send them flying, or worse, be constricted with tail spikes that will pierce through your ribcage, puncturing lungs and heart. This thing will literally squeeze the life out of you, leaving nothing but your bloodless, shriveled body as the aftermath. But it could get worse. This mouth has the ability to crush through almost anything. People, earth, even rock. If you have the misfortune of having these jaws land on top of you, expect nothing but to get shredded into ground meat. Your passing will be quick, but those couple of seconds before losing consciousness would have been the most painful in your life.
Oh my god, that actually almost got me into upchuck. Oh my god, that is... I should not have had lunch before recording this.
Once the Whispering Death is finished with you, there will be nothing left but flesh, fat, and bone scattered all over the place. There is absolutely no way to get out of this one alive. Had enough? Well, hold on, because these executions will keep getting worse. Number 8, Rapid Fire. Oh, you thought we were done with the Whispering Death? Well, check this thing out. It's technically a Whispering Death, more or less, but it's mutated, meaner, and much, much bigger. This is the Screaming Death, a gigantic ball of teeth and loud fury that can shoot many fireballs in rapid succession, capable of taking out many foes at one time. Additionally, this creature's long body is also covered in spikes and can shoot them out from any part of its body. This is just some of the ways it could kill. Other methods include falling into this creature's tooth-infested mouth and getting impaled from an infinite amount of directions. Another would be
At least one thing is that it can't rotate its teeth and make itself into a blender like its non-mutated brothers.
Too close to this creature while it's roaring. Again, like we witnessed in the last episode, standing too close to a creature that can scream at high decibels can cause disruptions to your body that can and will kill. This one can stun and disorient you for enough time for this animal to take its time and pick how it can kill you. The next dragon on this list is just as scary, smaller, but equipped with weapons that will leave you with your mouth open. Number 9, Toxic Rage.
Yep, hold on, before we see it, and we're back.
Dragon weaponry in this universe has shown to be really unique and creative. This one does not fall short of that description. The Death Gripper species of dragons are not only frightening, but also possess some pretty gruesome ways to subjugate, and of course,
I wonder if we'll get the Bewilderbeast. Nope.
Kill its victims. You may have noticed that this animal already resembles scorpions, and you're not wrong. This right here, along with its teeth, contain venom strong enough to kill. Except this comes in phases. Getting stung by this doesn't necessarily mean instant death, but sure leads to it. The first sting will paralyze the victim, calming it down, almost succumbing it to the will of this death gripper. This paralyzation would then allow the dragon to proceed to eat you while you're still alive. The messed up part about this is that this toxin won't necessarily numb your pain. On the contrary, you'll feel every single bite and chew while being unable to do anything about it. But if you're lucky to get stung twice, then that means that you're dead. But your friends should be wary. Getting hit a third time makes your body poisonous to touch, so any remains would also spell doom for your friends. But is this it? Nope. The most dangerous and devastating weapon possessed by the Death Gripper is its acidic blasts.
Oh my
God. This liquid is so corrosive that it will literally burn through anything. Rocks, wood, metal, other organic materials, everything. You'll disintegrate on contact, leaving no evidence, no remains. After discussing all of these dragons, it is finally time to witness a creature of titan proportions. Number 10, living artillery. Dragons with the proportions of a shellfire will most likely have weapons that will kill you so fast that you probably wouldn't even feel it. This is a good thing, given all the pain we've witnessed already. But in this episode, we'll discuss 2 ways the shellfire could kill this test subject. One scenario in which he will get lucky.
First off, I want to point out the size of this dragon compared to the human. Like, look, it's just a little bigger than my mouse cursor, and this thing is big. There's a reason this thing is called shellfire. It's literally based off shell shock.
And another one where he'll get really unlucky. Let's begin with the lucky shot. This massive aquatic animal has the ability to shoot gigantic boulder-like projectiles out of its mouth. These are powered by plasma and are shot with incredible accuracy. The impact is massive, and anything in the blast radius would die and get disintegrated from the blast in a split second. A truly spectacular weapon. Another spectacular set of weapons are these things, its horns. Now, to be completely honest, these would have a 1% chance of killing something as small as a human, given that these tips would be too big to even serve as skewers for something this small. They could, but you'd have to be really unlucky. Like this guy, who was dropped in a huge tank a little bit ago and happened to be in the way of these horns. Now, because these are so thick in comparison to this guy's body, all of this dude's organs and spine would move out of place. This hurts a lot, but luckily for him in this rather unlucky situation, the bleeding would be too much and they would pass out in a matter of seconds. We hope you enjoyed this episode, so don't forget to subscribe, buy merch, and ring that bell so you won't miss the next episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Well, folks, that's it. That's the end of today's episode. Wow, that was very terrifying. I really almost did upchuck on the human blender one with the whispering death. That's what we're going to end up today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link will be in the description. And I'll see all of you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.